These nuts. Got him!
For a pretty steady run there in the middle of the last decade, you couldn't fire up your computer without seeing at the very least one picture of this guy with some new phrase or meme attached to it. I don't know.
What is up, you guys? Welcome back to I Seen That Reaction Channel. I'm your boy, Mr. I Seen That. And if you're here for the first time, make sure you like, leave a comment, and subscribe by hitting the eyeball in the bottom right corner, turning on the bell notification. Then you can be aware the next time your boy, Mr. I Seen That, drops his next reaction video. What's up, y'all? We back for another reaction, man. So, of course, you see the title. Where your boy at, man? You know what I'm saying? We gonna be reacting to your boy Welven, man. And where are they now, man? I've been seeing some videos pop up, man. So I just figured, hey, why not just react to it and just see what's going on with your boy Welven. You know what I mean? If you don't know who Welven is, back in the day, he was an internet social media star. You know what I mean? They asking Welven, man, you got him? You got him? And then they talking about, man, Welven, you ain't got him. You ain't got him. And of course, you know, your boy Welven gonna be like, man, who ain't got him? You know what I'm saying? Then, of course, he got the famous line, you know what I'm saying? Get on these. Deez. But, I guess, you know what I mean, with all the fame and I would guess fortune, I don't know how much money that man had, how much he was making, you know, for walkthroughs, appearances, and all of that, being on different, you know, shows. I don't know how much that man was making, but I guess it ain't looking too good for him right now, man. So we just gonna check in and see what's going on with that boy Welven, man.
Bro,
You gonna do no video on me?
what's the deal with you, bro?
After Welven the Great would become a viral sensation off of the back of several meme-worthy catchphrases that he dropped in countless videos.
Got him!
After Welven the Great would be immortalized forever in Taylor Swift's music video to Bad Blood, being portrayed by Kendrick Lamar. After Welven the Great would see a series of fake death reports snowball online over the past year and eventually have to address them himself.
You know, I wish all these rumors would stop, and I wish you guys would just leave Welven alone, stop bullying him on these streets, just, you know, let him live the life that he want to live.
When it comes to viral sensation and internet memes, we're certainly in no fear of ever running out. But one of the OGs at the game is a man named Welven the Great, otherwise known as the Deez nuts guy.
These nuts. Got him!
For a pretty steady run there in the middle of the last decade, you couldn't fire up your computer without seeing at the very least one picture of this guy with some new phrase or meme attached to it. I don't know if I'd exactly call it the peak of online comedy, but man, was it ever prevalent. Then, almost as quickly as he arrived, Welven the Great disappeared. And I mean, with a name that sounds like something of a magician cooked up, how surprised can we be that he really pulled a disappearing act? Only he didn't drop off the face of the earth, at least not completely. Recently, videos have begun making the rounds that have found Welven in some increasingly distressing situations that have his fans worrying about his safety. Are these concerns warranted? Today, you're gonna find out yourselves. It was poppin', guys. Your boy Marlon Popper back at it again with a brand new video. This one taking a look at the recent history of one of the internet's most viral characters, Welven the Great. When this channel first started, Welven was a pretty big deal and a prominent reoccurring topic, so I'll admit that I'm pretty invested to find out what's become of him, and I hope you all are too. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram at DadDoMcFly. Let me know what you think, and let's get into the story. Welven the Great was born Welven Harris on May 31st, 1988 in Long Beach, California. In his early days, he was raised by his aunt alongside his cousins, who he would often entertain with his unorthodox sense of humor that taught him pretty quickly how to make people laugh. Unfortunately, due to his undisclosed disability, Welven was often made fun of by kids outside of his own family. During his school years, he was the victim of bullying on countless occasions, but as difficult as his childhood was, Welven managed to turn a negative into a positive by transforming himself into the pinnacle of internet meme culture. He first went viral around 2015 after uploading videos called "Who Don't Got No Bitches" and "Got Him."
That was for you, but the homie said you ain't got no Baba Bowie.
Who don't got no bruh?
Classics. Just classics. After those clips began making the rounds, he'd get shoutouts from Kevin Hart and Martin Lawrence, and just like that, Welven was on his way.
Some came in the mail today. These nuts. Got him. Got him.
His most infamous catchphrase, "Deez nuts," might owe its origins to Dr. Dre's track with the same name from his 2001 landmark album, The Chronic, but it was Welven who would turn that phrase into a touchstone of pop culture after the numbers on that video soared to some pretty spectacular heights. From that point on, with the help of his manager, Lefty, Welven's online audience exploded and led to some big-time shoutouts from other celebs like DJ Khaled, not to mention Amber Rose, who teased her online fan base by suggesting Welven might be her future baby daddy, because we all know how unpredictable those are for her.
Amber Rose, man, you wrong for that. I didn't even know that, man. Her future baby daddy. Amber Rose, you wrong, man.
At the height of Welven's popularity, even some of the biggest stars in the world were willing to give him some shine by immortalizing his name and character forever in the Taylor Swift music video Bad Blood, where Welven was personified by none other than Kendrick Lamar.
I saw you over there with goddamn Kendrick. That shit was nuts on stage, man.
Welven's unwavering personality and confidence had everyone falling in love with him, and if a fan ever saw him on the street, you just know they were stopping to snap a pic. In fact, his Instagram is packed full of photos taken with his passionate followers, even if they do often have to pay for the privilege. I mean, I can't blame him, bro. Hustle, get that money where you can.
What I hear is like $5 or $10. No, it was $20 when I started telling him that.
But sometimes social media fame can dry up almost as quickly as it arrived, and unfortunately for Welven, that appears to be the case. His manager Lefty apparently abandoned him, and these days, the only thing that's viral about Welven are the numerous and prolific rumors of his untimely death, all of which are false. It started last July when people began tweeting about his possible demise, and rather than validate the truthfulness of these rumors, obituary site Dead Death simply posted an article that reported it as fact. Now, it's not exactly a surprise to find out that a website that calls themselves Dead Death shouldn't be taken as reputable, but ironically enough, this rumor refused to die itself. Instead, a few months later, footage of Welven lying unconscious on the street began circulating, and the rumors kicked off all over again. Rule of thumb, people, if they're not dead on TMZ, they ain't dead. It's just a fact and science at this point. Anyone who didn't already believe the worst had happened flooded social media with assumptions that Welven must be homeless and that his family clearly took advantage of him when he was at his peak of his fame, only to then cast him out on his own. And to be honest, when you see some of these videos, it's difficult to come to some other types of conclusions.
Yeah, what's the deal, bro?
You gonna do no video on me?
What's the deal with you, bro?
That last clip comes from a guy who was at the subway station closest to Skid Row, the largest homeless embankment in Los Angeles and America, making it quite possibly the biggest community of its sort in all of the Western world. Eventually, the rumors became prevalent enough that Welven and his family felt the need to address them. Only a few days ago, a video surfaced of Welven standing next to one of his cousins and informing the world that he's still alive and well.
I'm alive and I'm okay.
That's what's up,
And I wish that these blogs would stop with all these rumors about Welven being dead. He is very much alive and well.
As this impromptu news conference continued, his cousin laid heavily into the online blogging communities that helped spread the misinformation about her cousin and promised everyone that he has the support of their family who both love and care for him. She would also go on to suggest that Welven's activities on the street are purely his decision and his decision alone. In terms of his online presence, Welven hasn't completely abandoned his former meal ticket of viral content. While he hasn't created much original material since his initial fling with fame, he's recently popped up on the YouTube channel of Ross Media, where he interviews people on the streets of Las Vegas. I think it's been long enough and perfect timing, actually, for influencers to bring him back into some skits.
I mean, what a that like you see him. You been on him all night.
So why is there such a level of misunderstanding when it comes to Welven's untimely demise? Well, it might have something to do with everyone beginning to lose their collective minds with boredom as we enter what's more or less the 14th straight month of dealing with this pandemic, or it might have something to do with a bit of happenstance. You see, Welven the Great got so famous from his phrase Deez nuts that a lot of people simply took to calling him the Deez nuts guy. Problem is, there's actually an Australian hardcore punk band with the same name. This band has been around longer than Welven's 15 minutes of fame, having formed back in 2007, but unfortunately back in February of this year, their bass guitar player Sean Kennedy passed away at the age of 35. Considering their close age proximity and the coincidental name association, when his death was announced back then, it's possible that some fans didn't read well enough into the headline and simply assumed the worst when it came to Welven. Thankfully, that hasn't turned out to be the case. As for where he'll go from here and whether or not he'll ever reach the top of the social media mountain once again, well, that's a story for another time and another place. After all, this is Where Are They Now? And you're all caught up with the recent history of Welven the Great.
Hey, man. Hey. That's what's up, man. I'm glad that boy, alright, he alive, man. He doing well. I guess like they said, man, you know, if you catch that man out and about and that boy out there nodding or he out there laid out, that's his choice, man. You know what I mean? But he alive. That boy alive, man. So just hope that boy could you know, bounce back and probably, I guess, get back in some social media skits like they say, and just, you know, get back on his game, man. You know, don't want to see that man bad. Definitely don't want to see that man down on Skid Row, man. That's where you don't wanna be at. You know what I mean? So, but once again, man, prayers go out to Welven. Hopefully that dude, you know, get some help and get back in the spot. You know what I mean? Cause he was entertaining, man. Well, that's all I got for y'all on this reaction video. So, if you're here for the first time, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and turn on that bell notification so you can be aware the next time your boy, Mr. I Say That, drops his next reaction video. Until the next time, y'all know the vibes. Peace.